So practicing for the vessel exams in a order like you would do it for the exam. So first you would identify the initials for each pressure, label the direction of your fluid flow, then label which end is arterial or venous end based on the pressure levels and why, then calculating all your different pressures. So first, identifying your initials. So BP is for blood pressure, HPI, hydrostatic pressure of your interstitial fluid. Your colloid osmotic pressures, your COPB, that's your blood colloid osmotic pressure. And then for your interstitial fluid, so ICOP. So labeling your direction of fluid flow. So you will have your numbers that are on the test. Again, all these numbers will change on the test, so they'll be different. So all of your pressures except for your colloid osmotic pressure of your blood will drive fluid out of your capillaries. And then that's the only one that drives fluid into your capillaries. Just remember that your hydrostatic pressure of your interstitial fluid, so here as well as here on your arterial end, they drive fluid out because the pressure is negative, therefore creating a suction out of your capillaries. So which one is your arterial end versus which one is your venous end? So here, comparing our blood pressure on this end of 30, which is greater than the blood pressure on this end, which is only 10. So with the difference, the drop in blood pressure from your arterial end to your venous end, you end up with this being your arterial end with the larger blood pressure, and this being your venous end with the smaller blood pressure. So calculating your hydrostatic and osmotic pressures for the arterial and venous ends. So your numbers will be right by each other. So looking at your hydrostatic pressure, so we have our 3 driving out, so the -3 will still be there, but remembering that it drives out of the cell. And there's the blood pressure, so that's 30 out as well, so those combine to make your 33 out. Your arterial osmotic pressure, so your 8 out opposed by your 20 in, so 28 in. So because the 28 is much larger, you end up with 20 into your capillaries. For your hydrostatic pressures, because they help each other, it's just going adding them together, and the force drives out. On your venous end, hydrostatic pressures, so your blood pressure as well as your hydrostatic pressure of your interstitial fluid, both arrows are going out of your capillaries, so they help each other, so that combination of 10 plus 3 helping each other ends up being 13 millimeters of mercury pressure driving out of your capillaries. For osmotic pressures, they oppose each other. So 28 opposed by 8, you end up with 20 millimeters of mercury pressure in, since the 28 is your bigger number, therefore driving fluid into your capillaries. So to calculate your net filtration as well as net reabsorption pressures, again, your numbers will be different on the exam, but you combine the arterial end pressures and your venous end pressures. So your arterial end pressures will create your net filtration pressure. Your venous end pressures will create your net reabsorption pressures. So hydrostatic pressure is 33 out. Osmotic pressure is 20 in. So since these oppose each other, you end up with 13 millimeters of mercury of pressure driving fluid out of your capillaries. For the venous end, 13 millimeters of pressure out, 20 in. So these again are opposing each other. This one's the larger of the pressures, so they, in this opposition, the subtraction of it ends up with a 7 millimeters of mercury of pressure driving it into your capillaries. Okay, so that's it for prepping for the capillary dynamics exam. So unfortunately the video got cut off and I had to redo this end part, but that's okay. If you have any questions, please let me know. For the online class, again, the vessel exam is during your first Saturday lab. Your next lab exam won't be until your second Saturday lab, and so that's respiratory and digestive, and of course I'm going to go through all that to do videos for it so you guys are prepared correctly. Let's see what else. For the other classes, it's not until I believe the 22nd. So you guys have a little bit more time, but still something you need to start working on and thinking about. So if you have any questions, just message me. You can stop by my office during office hours, or if I just happen to be here, I'm fine with you stopping by. Yeah, so that's it. Bye.